going to take a moment here to review some of the options you have for selecting multiple documents and moving them to the place of your choice. To get the process started, let's go ahead and create 2 new folders on the desktop. After we've done that, we'll open Explorer so that we have access to a fairly decent sized group of files that we can move as we see fit. Now, just as a point of reference, you have complete control over the size of any window you have open. You can make the window as large or small as you like. Just move the mouse over to the edge of the window, and once you see the size selector become available, click and hold the left mouse button. You can now increase or decrease the window as you see fit. So for the purposes of our example, I'm going to use a few files I have available in the sample pictures folder. So I'll navigate there, and you can use any set of files or documents that you like, just as long as there's a number of them, so that you can practice and master the process. Now, what you'll notice off the bat is that what you'll need to do is click inside the window with the left mouse button and hold. What this does, as you have the mouse clicked and held, and you move it left and right, you'll see that you have now the ability to highlight multiple files. So that's what you want to do. You want to click, hold, and then highlight as many files as you can. So now what you've done is actually called a multi-select. You've selected multiple files by highlighting and selecting the files all at the same time. So at this point, what you want to do is now move the files to the place of your choosing. And what you can literally do is click on any one of the already highlighted files or documents and hold using the left mouse button and drag it to the place where you'd like them to be. And take note of the message that's below the icon as you drag the files out of the window. What you see is that it actually will notify you of the location or the new location of the file if you were to let the mouse button go as you drag. So you see it first says move to desktop, and as we still have these files held using the left mouse button, if you were to drag it over a new folder or a new folder 2, it'll actually notify you that this is where the files would be moved. So we've dragged and dropped all the files into new folder, and we see that they're actually there. So we'll go ahead and close this window and undo the entire process using the shortcut method on the keyboard, Control-Z, to place them back in their original location so that we can approach this a different way. Okay, this time, instead of selecting all the documents at once, we'll select them one at a time. And in order to do that, you'll need to hold down the Control key on your keyboard and then simply click each individual file one by one. And you'd use this method of selection if you, for whatever reason, needed to be careful about the files you were moving or copying or what have you. Now, if you wanted to accomplish the same thing using the keyboard, what you want to do is click one of the files on the list and then hold down the Shift key. While you have the Shift key held down, you can use the arrow keys on the keyboard to then select multiple documents or single documents, whichever you prefer. Now, if you'd like to select all the documents at one time using the keyboard, one option you have is, while holding down the Shift key, also press the End key. What this does is select all the documents down to the end of the list. Another option you have for selecting everything in a given space is holding down Control and then pressing the A button on the keyboard. This is a shortcut for what's called Control All. And what this does is select everything you have available to you in a given window. From here, you have the option to move, copy, or paste whatever you have selected. And what we're going to do in this case is we're actually going to cut these files from this place in the pictures library and move them into one of our folders. So the shortcut to do that with the keyboard is actually Control X. I know most of you are familiar with Control C to copy and Control V to paste, but Control X allows you to cut in addition to those other things. Okay, so that's a brief rundown for selecting multiple files and moving them or copying them or whatever you would like to do with them. If you have any questions or thoughts or concerns, feel free to let me know. Hopefully this was helpful.